Hello everyone. Welcome to the start of a brand new game for us. We are going to be playing Assassin's Creed Rogue. Please let me know how the audio is going. I have been playing around with settings a fair bit, but these are entirely new scenes and so they're probably going to have some teething issues. Okay, let's get into it. I'm going to be very rusty with this because I'm using an Xbox controller, which is not what I usually use. Muscle memory is going to be screwing me over.
Stay my blade from the flesh of the innocent. Hide in plain sight. Never compromise the Assassin Brotherhood. These are the tenets of the Creed, the principles I used to live by. I was a young man then. The 7 Years' War was about to begin. I could not have imagined what the future had in store for me, nor the cost I would choose to bear. My name is Shay Patrick Cormack. This is my story.
Okay, so, well, I immediately screwed that up. So we're already starting with killing assassins. Interesting. Oh look, we failed.
Admit it, I nearly had you.
Nearly counts for nothing, Shay. And besides, no. That was just luck.
I make my own luck, Liam.
You've been saying that for years, but you're precious little to show for it. Or have you been spending it all getting out of trouble?
Well, you know, trouble just follows me around.
Let's head back.
I saw that shining back there.
Come on. Captain Deliver Andre and his crew must have run into some trouble. Who knew meeting with smugglers would lead to no good?
So, quick history of my experience with the Assassin's Creed franchise. I played through the games up until the third game as they were coming out, including the third game. Whoops. I eventually got them all on PC, which we're currently playing on. And I have played Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag on PC. I have played through most of Liberation, but I eventually stopped because it was not quite keeping me as I wanted. And now we are up to Rogue. I saw that shiny over there as well. There we go. We will probably not be going for 100% because 100% in an Assassin's Creed game can often be quite a lot. But we will be trying to get whatever we come across as we come across it. And as I said, this will be a bit of a kindling of my muscle memories because I'm going to be making mistakes for a bit. Apologies for that. It's just what happens with these kinds of games.
Am I going too fast for you?
I'm just keeping an eye on you, in case you fall down and hurt yourself.
And the free running is not always the smoothest in Assassin's Creed. Gets better with each game, usually.
Hurry. We'd best not keep Chevalier waiting.
Où sont ces critères? space, where the hell were you two?
We're out hunting. What happened here?
My men were attacked by some English sea dogs.
Why, Captain Joseph. Couldn't you fight them all off by yourself like you're always saying?
It is Capitaine Louis-Joseph Gauthier, Chevalier de la Vérendrye. And you are dreaming if you think any training could make you into a proper assassin. Do you even know what that means? It means being responsible for an ancient and proud tradition. It means obeying your mentor without question. How else will we ensure freedom for the human race?
Them's pretty words, Chevalier. But I don't feel too free at the moment.
Well then, feel
Obeying your
educated.
master without
I
question
will
feels
teach you
more
some
like
manners,
a
boy.
Templar creed than an assassin.
You irresponsible wretch. I will teach you some manners, boy.
Gentlemen, stop! We got a common enemy, and I reckon he's close.
The Royal Navy attack my vessel and force my men to flee. We are stranded, and what is worse, the smugglers we were supposed to meet have been taken prisoner.
Shay and I'll free those smugglers. You, treat your wounded.
I also feel like Chevalier probably
Take
isn't
these.
a master.
You'll need them.
Liam here might be, but Chevalier not so much.
Tread with care, Shay. The Royal Navy be ready for us. Remember your training. Ready to teach them a lesson?
They don't stand a chance.
Where are your
Not
mates
bad.
now, you bilge rat? Talk before I bash out your brains!
Keep an eye out, lads! Their pals are still out there somewhere!
There goes Ben.
How do I...
Thank you.
Right, B. Yep, okay. How do I crash and stealth? That seems a bit weird that we don't have that. Good, I can assassinate both for once. Good to know.
thanks. I thought I'd be hanged.
Happy hunting, lads! Set her ablaze! Sink that French vessel! She's no match for you! Ha ha! Yeah! Yeah! Are you settling down?
Okay, easy done. It is the first mission though.
I
That's
was
a
saving
lot more
those
guards
fellas
than I
for you.
Very
expected.
thoughtful. Maybe you were not completely useless, Shay.
Speaking of useless, those blockheads won't be needing this vessel anymore.
This pile of mail? You want her, Shay? She is yours. Now bring me back to my ship.
Maybe he's a master assassin.
You heard, Chevalier? This vessel is yours, Shay. Go on. Take the wheel. Some of the men you rescued agreed to join us. They should prove a good crew.
I'm not so certain about their captain, but next to me, you're the most experienced sailor in the Brotherhood, Shay. Besides, we could use another vessel. Even this pitiful one.
She's mine, ain't she? My own ship.
Your own pile of garbage, yes?
Ah, with a lick of paint and a few new cannons. She'll look as fine as anything on the Seven Seas.
Shall we begin, Captain?
Okay, so this part of it
Indeed,
is
mate.
fairly familiar from
She's a mess,
Assassin's Creed
but she's
4.
still afloat. And her name's the Morgan.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Morgan.
That silly fairy queen who ruined Merlin, the wise?
Hold up, see.
Oh, she's perfect for you, Shay.
The Morgan was an old goddess. She's the Queen of War and Darkness. She harvested the souls of fallen warriors. Perfect indeed.
Loading cargo.
Ease off the way.
Through the foremast.
I am probably going to be looking down a fair bit, even though I know the ew. Even though I know the prompts are on screen, it's just habit because I'm not used to this controller anymore.
Loose all and trim sharp to the wind.
Full sails. Cargo there, sir.
A ship! Shit! They will sink her!
Let's put the Morgan to the test, Captain Shay.
Ready for battle, men.
Ready here. Sir, to the fore. Hold the flanks. On your mark.
Stop them, boy!
Damn it. Straight to the deep.
They're tearing her to pieces! Do something!
Working on it,
Hold the flanks.
but this ain't the easiest thing in the world.
She's centering.
My ship!
Hold for there.
It seems this vessel is battle ready after
There
all.
we go.
I will
Saved
return
him.
to what is left of your depot. It's a long way home. We have repairs to do.
Sing hearty, lads. Chevalier is pleased with us.
Oh, we succeeded in our first mission. Huzzah!
Now you're ready to sail for the Horn. We're roll and go. Our boots and our clothes are all in the erotic and fancy and
What course would you have me set, Shay?
Time to report back to the mentor. Wouldn't you agree?
Wise words, Captain. Wise words.
In case anyone's wondering, I am just using this typical standard wired PC gaming controller, nothing fancy. I may end up trying to get my Switch Pro controller working
What the hell
with this,
did you
but
do? It's some kind of dormant virus? Shit. Hang on, I'm getting you out of there.
oh, real world stuff already. What's going on here?
Sorry for the rough exit. Earpiece working, check. You were just an animus. Animus, yes? You were using it to access a genetic memory file in Helix labeled Shay Cormack? You work for Abstergo Entertainment, remember? Any of this ringing a bell? Your session triggered something bad, and it's affecting the whole building. We need to find your boss. You haven't forgotten your boss, have you? Melanie LeMay, sipper, chipper, overachiever? Here, Take your communicator, check it if you get lost. Now let's get out of here. Follow me. Double time.
Rising Phoenix, that didn't happen.
This chaos is absolutely your fault, in case you're wondering.
Come on, everyone. Just like we practiced in our safety drills. Everything's
Bit
gonna
weird
be
that
okay,
that
guys.
just is
Stay
floating there.
positive.
But this is very familiar from
What
Black
the hell
Flag.
is happening?
A file labeled Shay Cormack was booby-trapped with some kind of virus.
Your job is to prevent things like this.
We need to contain these genetic memories, then we can destroy them.
No. Isolate them. I want to study these memories.
But
With respect, Miss LeMay, this is not a request.
You heard the man.
fine.
I need to borrow your numbskull. That okay with you, Ms. LeMay?
Hey there, this might seem a bit weird, but you're gonna work for contractors we hired to, you know, upgrade our security. Mr. Otto Berg and Miss Violet DaCosta.
Call me Violet.
I have to go check on our people and prepare a statement for the press. Do whatever they tell you to do, okay? Go team!
Technically, you're not responsible for this, but you're the one who let the virus out, so I think it's only fair you help me clean it up.
This is
Mr.
definitely
Berg
a
wants
bit
us to
janky.
relive Shay's genetic memories. To do that, we need to access them from Helix. But the Helix is down. We'll have to reboot the main servers in the basement. Man, whoever designed this virus is a genius. Not only does it restrict our access to the cloud, it's adapted to fuck up the other operating systems that regulate building functions. Melanie? The elevators are out of commission. Are we stuck on this floor?
Damn, yes. I'll get a repair crew on site ASAP.
There's a working area server on this floor. I guess it'll have to do for now.
Agent DaCosta, I want regular updates on your progress with Shay's genetic memories.
Why? He's just a nobody as far as I can tell.
If Shay Cormack is who I suspect he is, then this temporary setback may provide us with an unexpected reward. Proceed to the server room on this floor.
Well, you don't look very fun. Yes, Assassin's Creed 4 was the first one to take place in Abstergo as an Abstergo agent. I don't exactly remember what happened to us at the end of it, except for the fact that we ended up going back to working for the Assassins. We were just a regular employee who didn't know any better. It looks like this time we are another Abstergo employee.
Come on, numbskull.
Hey, there we go. To Jean-Francois Brunet, from Melanie LeMay. Subject, Lorena Torres. I don't know how to say this politely, so please don't think this is anything personal, or a reflection on you or your work. You're a star, but I think doing an entire virtual feature about Lorena Torres is the single most boring pitch that's ever come across my desk. Sorry. Oof. That's unfortunate.
Do you see a flashing wireless signal? Great. That means you can still access it. Once you restore the server, I'll connect your Animus workstation back to Helix. In theory, if you align the beams to segments of the core, it should solve the problem. But here's where it gets tricky. You have to move the circles in such a way that each segment is powered by a beam. The keyword here is each. One beam and one beam only per core segment, okay? Once everything is lit up properly, the system will reboot. Got it? Give it a shot.
Who would design a system like this? It's just ridiculous. Sorry, Admiral. I was focusing on what was happening. As for the zoom of the camera, it's so that I can actually get my hands in here, because otherwise they just all get cut off.
Make sure you don't have more than one beam assigned.
As
to a
for
core
the
segment.
game screen size, that's just the overlay, and there's like, unless I want to build myself a custom overlay, which I do not have the graphic chops to do so, they mostly come like this. Or there's one that doesn't have the chat box, and I prefer to have the chat box there for the VOD purposes. Otherwise, people wouldn't be able to see what I was replying to.
Remember, the entire core has to be powered, or the system will not reboot. Good job.
But yeah, who the hell would design a system like
Rebooting
this?
the advanced hardware in the rest of the
It does not
building
make
will
sense.
require more work.
The assassins would have you believe that Al-Mualim was a great mentor who became corrupted with greed, and that he schemed with the Templars to acquire an apple of Eden. I see instead a shrewd and cunning leader. A man who used his best assassin, Altair ibn Lahad, to eliminate his conspirators in order to keep
Yeah, honestly, I could do with the
so that he could use it
the
to
game
enforce
window
world
being
peace. While it must be
basically the
stated
full height,
unequivocally that
but that would
Al-Mualim
also
was
stretch
not a
it
Templar,
out
it is
of
interesting to me that his
16,
vision of
9,
peace
which
was
would be a
more in
bit
line
weird.
with Templar philosophy than assassin. In the past, both sides had the same goal, that of peace. Our only difference was how we chose to achieve it. Had Al-Mualim not been killed by Altair and allowed to carry out his plan, perhaps we would not be fighting now. It was only after Altair reformed the Brotherhood with its new ideals of free will that the conflict truly escalated and spread across the planet. For if the so-called wise man of the mountain can see things from our point of view, surely the same can
How
be
you
said
doing, Admiral
of
Salty?
other assassins.
Good to have you in chat. Despite your immediate shitting on the
assassins would have you believe
overlay I
that
used.
Al-Mualim was a great mentor who became
Oops,
corrupted with
nope,
greed.
nope. That's going to be me getting used to this controller.
Okay, so I'm not sure you were supposed to see that. You should just get back to your Animus.
Yeah, we should not have seen
With
that.
the servers back online, you could, in theory, restore your co-workers' workstations if you know, feel like being helpful. And you could, in theory, find some more digital goodies if you know, feel like being sneaky. Hey, one of your co-workers dropped his communicator by the elevator. If you see any tech lying around like that, grab them. There might be a clue as to who did this.
Now that you have unlocked Shay Cormack's memories, we stand on the brink of a grand discovery. I know you must have questions about your new assignment, or about me. For now, all I will say is that Shay's story contains the answers. Shay.
Oh, okay, so that's how that's meant to work. There we go. I assumed as much. Appreciate you following me from the Discord. It's always good to have more people in here. And this is my first stream with this overlay and with the
William Miles became
this
the
game.
de facto leader of the assassins. A cunning and ruthless strategist. He trained several agents who infiltrated Abstergo, including Clay Kazmarek.
So this one's all about the modern
In
day
late
characters from the
2012,
first
I
three
captured William
first series of
Miles in
games.
Cairo and delivered him to Warren Vidic in Rome. Miles' son, Desmond, attacked Abstergo, killed Vidic and Master Templar Daniel Cross. He fled to a first civilization.
No,
temple
you
in
don't
New
say,
York.
especially not with the name of
On
Admiral
December
Salty.
21st, Desmond Miles was killed inside the precursor structure. The grieving William Miles went underground and left the Brotherhood in the hands of Gavin Banks. Banks led a small team across the globe, attempting to rebuild assassin cells. We have confirmed sightings in Kyoto, Moscow, and Paris. Miles resurfaced in late 2013, and we have confirmed his involvement in the infiltration of Abstergo Entertainment Montreal by the assassins Sean Hastings and Rebecca Crane. Both Miles and Banks remain at large. Agent Acosta has tasked the Akashic satellite Plexus to sweep the planet for traces of assassin activities. We have yet to locate them.
Yeah, that is a fair point. I've seen my specs, and there are a surprising amount of people who end up catching it on console or mobile. it is worth rethinking. It's just it's hard to find one that, like, yeah, I would like to have more gameplay, but visible. But the overlays do come with one where it's just the full gameplay and you're as an overlay on top, generally without a background behind it. But that doesn't leave the chat available then. Which, as we said, the chat's there for the VODs. I won't spend too much time on this before I get back in. No, so these overlays are from stream elements. They are largely not customizable aside from turning elements on and off. Hola, Kashime. How's it going? Welcome to the channel. Okay, how am I meant to... French, cool. Awesome to have an international viewer in here. Nope, not that one. Not that one either. Crap. I think this might be it. No. How am I meant to work this? There we go. Let's see, right? Yep. Bloody hell, that was a pain in the butt. Don't be too annoyed by Admiral Salty
in another
here.
Animus session, and I've required caffeine. All is right with the world.
Good.
This isn't really your kind of mission, is it, boss?
Every mission is important in its own way.
Still, I bet you'd rather be out with the rest of the team, hunting Sean Hastings or something.
Wouldn't you?
Hell yeah. I want a front row seat for that show.
Any word from Sorkin?
He's scheduled to update me in 43 minutes.
Good.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
What's it like, using an Animus?
I went through the Animi training program. It felt like the drills we used to do in the UT Jaeger.
You never use a normal Animus like this one? To relive your own genetic history?
Only once.
Yeah,
Really?
I would not
Who
call
are you?
Salty a diplomat.
was a
He
young
is
man.
a very blunt person.
On the
Do
Viking
not feel the
raid
need to answer any questions he
on
asks.
Vinci
As for the
793
CRT,
northeastern coast of England.
I've
Sorry,
only really used it to
history
test
nerd.
it out so far. Haven't
So,
actually used it
how was
properly.
it?
But it
It was
seems like it
summer.
would be good.
Good sailing weather.
It's very
The
loud
monastery
compared
was
to
a
modern
center for
TVs.
religious studies, and we crashed into the city like a tidal wave.
And?
We pillaged and burned. They thought we were demons. The details of the memory were so vivid. I lost myself in the bloodlust.
No, it's not the wine, it's just
Defeated a Saxon. A great warrior.
I set it to volume
did not
20
want to kill
before turning on the console
I invited
because
him to join our clan.
volume 20 is where I put a modern
Norse
TV on.
adoption rituals. The chance to see
And
the
it
world
basically, I
with the
could
Vikings.
hear it from
Yes.
the other end of the apartment.
A chance to see the world as it really is.
What happened then?
He wept. Then he cried out that God had abandoned his people and that nothing remained but chaos. I felt such pity for him. I killed him without a second thought.
Ooh.
After we're done here, are we gonna have to kill the numbskull?
We will see.
Don't think I was meant to hear that one either. Pretty sure they won't want me knowing that they plan to perhaps kill me. Okay, the one place I did want to check is, yep. Grab this communicator. To Robert Fraser, CC Aidan Sinclair, Victoria Bieber. Subject Arno Dorian. Arno is from Unity. Hi Robert, you come highly recommended. I'm thrilled to have you in our studio. I'm putting you to work on a special project for me. Your subject is Arno Dorian. His story takes place during the French Revolution. I want you to explore every avenue of his life that you can. The goal is to have a new blockbuster to present to the Abstergo brass next year. As such, this is super classified. Your direct supervisor will be Aidan Sinclair, CC'd. You can only discuss the project with Aidan or myself, as you'll probably be logging some overtime in your animus. I've had a mandatory weekly meeting with a psychiatrist, Dr. Bieber, CC'd, to make sure you're not suffering from any bleeding effect. Welcome to Abstergo Entertainment. Don't let me down. Yeah, so how to put it? So you got the original game, which is, you know, it did not age well, but it's still a good game.
If it was me, I'd snoop to see if there's any juicy stuff on it. But I might be a terrible person.
Then you had Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, the other games in the Assassin's Creed 2 little mini-series, Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, which were all really good. This one should be roughly the same, so is Unity. And then the Egypt ones, they went full RPG instead of the actual, like, particular gameplay style that the Assassin's Creed games built up. They're still good, and they still have the same premise, it's just it's a very more heavily min-max, choose your skills, put in what stats you want, all that kind of stuff, which is not everyone's favorite cup of tea.
It has been a long time.
I'll have a look.
Achilles.
Achilles from
Adewale.
3.
How go things in the
Oh,
West
it's actually
Indies?
still Adewale. Damn.
Very poorly, I'm afraid.
Your countenance tells me we should discuss this. Come.
No, it's all good. I get what you mean. These guys were
Who's our visitor?
Assassin's Creed 3
That's Adewale.
characters.
He was a slave who freed himself, and hundreds of his brothers in the West Indies. That man's a living
Sorry, no,
incarnation
Assassin's
of the
Creed 4.
Creed.
See?
And Achilles is Assassin's
Join me
Creed
for some
3.
practice.
Soon. I've got other business first.
Look at that pop out. Like, this game was very much. I don't know. Oh, do you see that? The T-posing characters down there?
Ground shook, and the ocean waves crashed over Port-au-Prince.
How many were lost?
Thousands. No family was left untouched.
I hate to bring up practical matters at a time like this. But did Mackendall's man complete his task before the earthquake hit?
I cannot know. Von Rodier has not been found. He was a strong Maroon, one of Mackandal's best students.
Such a shame. So we cannot know if he found the site.
Indeed. But if there was a temple under the waves, I doubt it is still standing.
And the artifacts that showed the way?
Stolen.
The Templars broke in during the chaos. They seized the manuscript and precursor box. I gave chase on the sea, but lost their trail when they reached New York.
We must consider what to do next.
But yeah, so that's up to Assassin's Creed 4, and I think these games as well, the Rogue, Unity, Syndicate trilogy, were all classic classic Assassin's Creed games. And then the Egypt trilogy, I say Egypt trilogy, but Egypt and
I heard that Liam's waiting for you.
Greece
Seen him yet?
trilogy went in a more like Skyrim style structure. The main problem is that Rogue, Unity, and Syndicate all had a lot less care taken for them, as you can see by all these characters just randomly posing and gliding along. And all the pop in and pop out. It's pretty noticeable. I don't know how much of that is because I'm playing in widescreen though, and I'm using a mod to
You are late.
fix the
What did I miss?
black bars.
Only the first hour of training,
We're always training, Kasagawase.
and will continue to do so.
Do not waste your words. Shay abhors improvement as much as cats abhor leashes.
Hey,
A pity. The boy has so much potential. But so little discipline.
all right. All right. What would you have me do?
Well played.
I have a feeling. Yeah. I have a feeling that that lady is, that Hope is from the Liberation game. I don't remember too much of it. Liam is definitely not
Shay.
from another game.
Follow me. It's time you learn to survive in the frontier.
I think I've been managing well enough so far.
Perhaps. But there is more I can teach you.
This guy is also not from any previous games, but is clearly meant to be following in the footsteps of the Assassin's Creed 3 main character. Yeah, so I'd have to re-download the game to get the original appearance, but basically,
It is time for the hunt.
because I'm playing on an ultra wide, it had maybe not even a third of the screen was actually filled, and the rest was black bars. This is a lot better than it was. Ubisoft is not very good at making their games actually work on any modern
To find prey.
systems. Like, they just go, yeah, it works for whatever was popular at the time, and deals with it.
Killing should not be meaningless. We must use what nature gives us. Good. Now to use what you have taken from
I should
nature.
clarify, I say Ubisoft, but I specifically mean Ubisoft on Assassin's Creed games. Because they're their yearly releases, and so they were rushed and not very great at this point. After this trilogy, they went back to a bit longer dev time, and so they weren't as bad, but...
With these, you can keep your pistols close. I hope that you will demonstrate more skill to your other teachers. Farewell for
Cool.
now.
Okay. So, I'm going to pause it just here briefly. And hop into stream elements. I really should just keep this open. Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. I was going to try and pop that other overlay in place so I could show it off and see what you think, but that is a lot and is not really anything that I want to deal with. But let's have a look-see. Browser. Yeah, did not work, and I'm not going to spend time debugging it right now. But I can have a look at that later and show it off in the next stream of this, which will be Thursday. It's not. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as I'd like because I haven't used that one before. Okay, that's a dummy. That's okay for it to be in that pose. Hey there, Hope.
It's about time you showed up.
Far be it from me to keep a lady waiting.
I'm no lady here. Don't you forget it. I'm your teacher. And you're better.
Well, some of that is true at least. What would we be doing?
Exploring a myriad ways to end a life. You two! Make yourselves useful and watch Shay. Can you kill without being noticed? You certainly know how to handle yourself.
He's right there!
But you guys were on my side.
Top form, Shay. Nicely done. I am surprised. Top form, Shay. You did better than I expected.
Okay, so...
Have your skills actually grown, Shay? Do not get a swelled head over it.
Oh, that's probably why. Yes, okay. I was wondering why it was flickering between mouse movements and
this is not the time.
controller inputs, and it's because I still had my actual mouse control on my browser.
So, what's the challenge today?
Shooting straight and true. Here, you can use these.
These are yours.
Well, I want you to have half a chance of succeeding. Go on. Shoot these targets. You can take your time. Not too much. There's more work after this.
Reload.
Thank you for the follow, Admiral Salty. I do appreciate it. Every follow helps.
Anyone can hit targets standing still. Let's see how you do on the run.
Come on, hurry up.
Honestly, I'm doing this streaming as a reason to, one, get from my backlog, and two, improve my whoops. I need to reload. There we go. Yeah. 2 is basically that, is to get used to public speaking. And there's only so much that I can
Come on, hurry up.
do in certain games.
Well done, Shay. Keep it up.
Like I'm fine when we're in our friend group, but
Achilles has one more thing to show you.
big public
Go on,
audience like at
move on.
work, that's an entirely different situation. So, you know, if I get to have fun while also trying to build an audience, build a community, all the better. I imagine we're probably not going to spend too much
Shay,
time here.
I hear you've become quite the marksman.
Generous gift. Thank you, Mentor.
My ship awaits, Achilles. The people of Haiti will make good use of your supplies. I trust you will retrieve what has been lost.
Lost?
The Templars stole 2 precious artifacts. A manuscript of ancient wisdom and a box that allows one to understand its language.
I have tracked the Templar as far as this coast, but I fear the rest is up to you, my friend.
Farewell, Adewale. Whoever controls the artifacts can access precursor sites of power. We must recover them, or none are safe.
So yeah, seeing as you're new to the channel, somebody, actually, I should ask, would you prefer Admiral or would you prefer Salty? Yeah, I didn't even realize those were objectives I had to worry about. But yeah, if I'm looking up here, that's where chat is. If I'm looking over here, that's where Discord is. So I'm checking pings. Yes, I know how to form a leap of faith. It's not my first Assassin's Creed game. There we go. Yeah, they've actually just announced 3 more Assassin's Creed games. Starting with Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Plan or no plan. We choose our own battlefield. And hey, we know most of these when we're at sea.
Right you are. Let's set sail.
So I'm interested to see if they go back to this style of gameplay or if they stick with the Origins style gameplay.
We only have one lead, Shay.
Yeah, that should be the map. Yes, cool. Okay, so this is our world map for the game. Decently sized. It is very much like the Assassin's Creed 4 map. And they want me to go around there. Okay.
Let's hope it brings us closer to the artifacts.
So Achilles tasked you with this mission?
No. Task me to task you. Need to find what was stolen from Mackandal, Shay. You have to recover the precursor box of manuscript. This is your mission.
And what's yours?
To watch your arse.
Achilles doesn't really trust me, does he?
Give it time, Shay. Do this for him. For
Ooh.
us.
Yeah, that's
Much more than earn his trust.
Liam, do you know what Achilles writes about? I see him in his office all the time, bent over his papers.
He keeps records and accounts. Studies what little is known about the pieces of Eden. And of course, he corresponds with assassins on other continents.
Of course. Liam, you can be a right horse's arse when it comes to assuming everyone knows the same as you.
I cannot help if Achilles wants me to be familiar with our counterparts in Europe and elsewhere.
Said like his favorite son.
Connor's his favorite and only son.
Then Achilles is heir. Connor may inherit the house, but you'll be mentor.
We'll see.
Whatever you say,
Yeah.
Prince Regent of the Assassins.
You call me that again, I'll throw you in the ocean.
Yeah, I'm interested. Well, how do I phrase this? I'm hoping that. Oh wow, that's not fair. I'm hoping that one day I'll have a bit of enough of a community going here that I can actually have like a conversation going here, so that it's not just me playing the game and trying to find a way to fill the silence with who knows what. But that's all gonna take time. For now, I'm just trying to have some fun while I'm at it. Oops. Oh, that's a cool kill. Didn't really mean to just murder them like that, but it is what it is. These games were never known for taking the nice way out. You should start up again. I mean, it's all for fun, right? As long as you look at it that way, as just something you can do for fun rather than, you know, like, rather than trying to make money off of it or trying to be the best or anything like that. Like, that's the main thing that I'm trying to go for here, is that it's just all about having some fun with it. If I start worrying too much about how I'm doing numbers wise, then it just won't be worth it anymore.
No, you don't. Hey, you are mine.
Who needs conventional weapons when I have guns? But that's half the problem though. Pretending I'm alone, am I really going to be talking to myself? That just seems even weirder. Watch yourself there, Shay. Don't impale yourself on the sticks there. What am I missing? There's that. Okay. So I'm just about done with this, but... Now, okay. I know that a lot of you think I'm crazy on that server, but I'm not crazy. I generally don't talk to myself. Generally. There's always some odd occurrences. Oh, okay. So, guns, armaments. Okay, so this one's gonna be a climbing puzzle of some sort, presumably. But I've got no idea where to even begin. Up there. Ah, okay. Yeah, see, so I'm not saying you have to or should do this, but 100% that is what I was doing in my Pokemon stream, which is almost up. I have just about finished Pokemon Shield, and whenever characters, I would actually voice all the characters because, you know, there's no voice acting in a Pokemon game. I was shit at it. I'm not very good with voices, but I still did them. Only way you improve, you know? It's one of those trade-offs and downsides, like, cool, I don't have to use my voice as much when playing this game because of the voice acting. But that means I also have less to talk about, and so I'm generally probably going to be less entertaining to watch. Okay, let us continue our journey.
Get the maids free! Studs out! Let's get moving!
Yeah, this segment, like the ship sailing area, very much straight out of Assassin's Creed 4, so I have muscle memory for this. But the main thing is getting used to using a Xbox controller over the Switch Pro controller that I spent the last 55 hours using.
Fire! On the left! All right, sail, sir! Incoming! Ready here! Fire!
Ready to Nothing, Captain! It's a gunboat!
Fire!
We have help, Captain! Ready here! Ha-ha! They're no match!
Fire!
No! No!
Trim the yards off the wind!
Taking some damage here!
Did I need to fight these guys? Am I gonna regret fighting these guys? No, and probably. But I wanted to. They're in my way. Oh yeah, the Switch Pro controller is amazing. Like, I think I charged it up twice in that entire time. And that was probably only because I was also playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3 as well, which I've got like 160 hours in. Oh yeah. Like the actual Switch gamepad, the big chunky thing, has like 4 or 5 hours battery, but the Pro controllers, they will last months, if not years. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure my PS5 controller's over there. Probably dead because I haven't used them in a few months. I mean, you say that, and it's sold bad mostly because of the marketing. But I actually really liked the Wii U and what it did. And a lot of the games that have now been ported to Switch were amazing games that really used all of the full capabilities of having that second screen on the gamepad. Like, probably the only game that I still am waiting for them to port is Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Trust me, you will sell those lobster by the ton in France. Ah, the cabbage farmers return. About time.
My cabbages!
We have a lead on that curious manuscript.
I'd be surprised if you can read it.
No one can read it, imbecile. This is why the Templar are taking so long with it. But one of our allies has caught a glimpse of their work.
A pirate?
A spy who worked with the pirate. We set sail for Anticosti. That should prove a good test for this floating cesspit you call a ship.
That's not a very nice thing to say about my ship. I've only just got it. I'll make it a lot better when I can.
How trustworthy are the pirates?
I consider them brothers, Shay. When the time comes, they will lend aid and help us fight the Templars. Only the roast beef would realize the Templars were pulling their strings.
Are the Templars truly in control in the colonies?
Not quite, but their influence reaches far and wide.
And what about the spy we're meeting?
You need not worry about Le Chasseur. He is loyal to the Brotherhood. As it happens, he also has friends in both the French and English fleets. And he knows more about what goes on in these parts than you can ever hope to learn.
So Liam, what can you tell me about Adewale? You obviously admire the man.
I gotta admire these guys for being able to stand so stock still on a ship that is twisting and tipping like this. I wish I had that level of
He was
balance.
a pirate, the scourge of the West Indies, rubbing elbows with the likes of Blackbeard, Woodes Rogers, and Calico Jack Rackham.
Calico who?
Oh, read a book, will you?
About 20 years ago, Adewale intercepted a Templar convoy and stole a mysterious package. He traveled to Port-au-Prince and entrusted it to a woman he believed was loyal to our cause.
I'm guessing that woman wasn't loyal to the cause. But yeah, so I can't say I have any games with 6,000 to 7,000 hours in them. Particularly not party games like Mario Kart and Smash. I love them, don't get me wrong, but I don't really have anyone to play them with before online was a big thing.
Can't be far now, Captain.
Okay, so where's the enemy ship they're telling me about? I assume it's these ones, right?
There, Captain. An English vessel. And she looks to be in trouble.
That's fine indeed. Perhaps we should aid her journey to the bottom of the sea.
Now let's not be too hasty. She's full of crown cargo. Take a look through your spyglass and see for yourself.
Right. You say this is a good day to ride between George's pockets.
Be careful. A few shots should be enough to cripple her. Too much damage and she'll go down with all souls and all spoils.
We can board and loot her before the crew knows what hit them.
Okay, so I do actually need to completely...
Don't hit their minds, Shay.
Sorry, bear with me while I get reacquainted with these systems. There we go. So that's right. I have to incapacitate it, and then I can get up close and choose to either board it or sink it.
Show them what's for, Captain. Come on, men. Spoils are ours. For the Morrigan.
Oh, look at that guy just shooting from underwater. Very smooth game, isn't it? Okay, so the fact that the ship actually drifted away, that's new, and I don't like it. I feel like it's more of a case of buggy code than anything else, because they should have really pulled it in so they couldn't drift away like that. Hey, we all gotta do what we gotta do to get by, right, Salty? When things aren't going well for us. I'm lucky that I've never really been in that situation.
The sea
So.
between here and Anticosti is rough, Captain. We should strengthen the Morgan before going any further. There's a harbour master stationed nearby. Spend our new wealth on improvements.
I didn't realize there was a brotherhood in Haiti.
Yes. Francois McCandle is their mentor. He gathers many of his assassins from the Maroons.
Those are escaped slaves and their children, right?
They are. A shame, though. They escaped terrible conditions only to be killed in that earthquake.
But Haiti's a French colony now.
Aye, it is.
And here, the assassins are helping King Louis. But in Haiti, the French own the slaves who are set free by the assassins.
Our struggle is beyond political borders, Shay.
Anticosti shouldn't be far. Keep us on course, Captain.
Let's have a oopsie. Let's do this. Cool. There you go. Changing things live on air. How's that, Admiral? You happy with that? As you can see, my green screen is a bit fuzzier as a result.
Nothing but fishermen and their gear.
But I can mess with that later.
Aye. Per se and fishing go hand in hand. But it will serve our purposes well enough. French fish these waters first, but
Yeah, the problem is that now, like, you can see I just get cut off on the sides because the camera shoots in that much smaller profile than the actual full widescreen. I'm not sure why. I think I probably just need a better camera, not a Logitech one.
Bring it all in. Draw a anchor.
The camera just doesn't have those options in it. Like, it's just... It has resolutions, but they don't actually make it widescreen. Like, if I were to do that, then I'm still cut off. I've just stretched the image, which is not what you want. Whoops. Whoops. Sorry guys, I did not mean to shoot the cannons at you. I did not mean to attack the town. I promise. Yeah, of course you can, mate.
What service can I provide?
So, if it helps, this is the P922. I got it like 2-ish years ago, right when the pandemic was starting, and I needed a webcam for work.
Another time. What's on your mind, Captain?
So I can't get that one yet, or that one, or that one, or that, or any of those until I proceed further in the story. Cool. Good to know. I mean, I think it is the P922. I can double check that. Yeah, the C922 Pro Stream webcam. It was like $150 and it was the only one that was even available at the time. I wanted to get an even shittier one because it was just for work, but, you know. At the time, everyone needed webcams and all the shitty ones were bought up.
Rum bit of business, that.
There's also just more behind the scenes stuff. Let's head to. Got a green screen behind me, right? I need to actually make sure that the webcam, like if I zoom out too much, it goes outside of the bounds of the green screen, and then it just starts getting really weird. I know I'm meant to sail to the fort, but I kind of want to do something stupid. Yeah, I'm using a physical green screen. I wouldn't even know how to properly. Oh, I suppose you would just use the I saw it the other day. The color source, right? You put a color source behind you in the layers, and then use the same filter on that, so you could cover the entire layer. Cool idea, and I may use it one day. Right now, I have a green screen set up that works nicely as long as I don't want to be able to see too far. Ah, fair enough. So a reminder that I use AMD hardware at the moment. Oh boy. Yeah, that's fair. Like, I was only able to grab this because I had the cash, like, you know what, I'll get this in prep for when I want to start streaming in a few months. Once I finished Xeno 3, which ended up taking like a whole month extra than I planned to because it's such a big game. Do I need to kill these guys? Absolutely not. Am I going to do so anyway because it's fun? Yes. Whoops, I forgot that there was a guy up there. And they've lost track of me. Yeah, so I work from home 2 days a week, and I work from the office the other days. But I literally live less than a kilometer from work, so it's really not that bad if I have to go into the office. So you know how you work from home and then wander down to the pub? I can, if I want to, just wander down to the office or wander home if the weather's looking bad or something like that. You don't see me. I mean, it's got a double-edged sword because now I kind of need to stay in the area because I've gotten used to it and I'd hate to go back to Sydney life. Been much better for my health as well. Like in less than a year, I'm down 11 to 12 kilos, fluctuating. Still a lot more to go, and I still don't see the changes much in myself, but others certainly do, and it's a good feeling knowing that I'm actually making good progress on my health and life again. Just from moving down to an area where I can walk to work and be a lot more active in general. Hey, hostages say.
You could not have arrived at a better time, my friend.
I appreciate the compliment, man. Honestly, like, as I said, I don't see the changes much myself, but that's just the nature of human lives. We don't really, because we see our faces, like we don't see ourselves except in the mirror or on a camera like this. We don't actually notice the changes for ourselves generally. Oh yeah, you always notice as you gain weight, you just never notice as you lose it. I have no idea what all these collectibles are, but may as well collect them. And this one's one that you always want to get because sea shanty. Who doesn't want more music while sailing? Okay, what have I missed? There's that, which is the Harbor Master. I've got a Prosperity over there. 2 chests and a sync point. The joys of Assassin's Creed. Once again, I was not planning to necessarily go and murder my way through this town and gather everything, but they gave me the option to, so I did. Makes you question yourself sometimes when you just willingly go and do this stuff. But as long as I remember it's a video game, we're all good. Okay, so how are we getting it? That looks like the right spot. Yep. I am working from home tomorrow, so I'll have a bit more free time and I'll try and set up the other interface so that I can show what that looks like and you can have an opinion. I just need to figure out how to actually do that because, as you saw when I just slapped it in, it did not work. Ooh, that hurt a little. Okay, and we are now done with this island, I think. Except for that fragment up there, yeah. There we go. Now we're done. Yeah, I mean, I didn't need to do this to get through my backlog, but I also know that if I didn't, I would end up spending my nights doom scrolling through Reddit or maybe playing an hour or two here and I just wouldn't actually get through them. So, benefits me with getting through my games and also helps me improve myself. Win-win situation.
The Morrigan seems sturdy enough for the challenge.
I mean, we frequent the same Discord server and frequented the same company. We were very similar people. We are both IT shut-ins.
Some sort of cargo there, sir. Ships ahoy!
You were just unlucky enough to have your injuries that kept you down for a couple of years.
Careful, Shay. These waters are full of
enemy ships.
They're sinking the fishing boats.
You must believe those fishermen strayed into their waters.
These scoundrels must pay.
And would you look at that? Standing right in our way to add to cost. What say you? Sink every last one of them? For once, I find myself agreeing with you, Shay. Stranger things have happened.
Ready!
Fire!
Bloody fish!
Brace yourselves!
We've been hit!
Break up! Fire!
Awaiting orders, sir!
Ha! They're no match for us!
Sorry, this camera is going to get a bit topsy-turvy and may induce motion sickness, and I apologize for that. But it is the nature of naval combat.
Use explosive shot to stop her escape!
Hit us, sir! Rolling into starboard! On your mark!
Helm, Shay! We'll break up!
Taking some damage here!
Fire!
Huge swell! Starboard!
That's the last of them.
Then let us go on. Not too far from Anticosti Island now.
Nice. Okay.
Your friend the spy
So we need to
waiting
turn
for us.
around.
Yes. I hope Le Chasseur has more information about the manuscript.
Maybe he'll have the whole thing figured out for us.
And maybe I'm Emperor of Rome.
Ave Caesar. Salt hair, open skies, man out in the ocean, as free as a man can be. What do you say, Liam?
I am a little confused about, like,
Well, what's the point of freedom?
this should still be somewhere around America or the Caribbean, right? So why are all these icebergs here?
Seems to me we should just talk to them like men, instead of skulking around.
And would you smile and wish them a good day as they lay their boot on your neck?
Of course not.
They're murderous bastards that want to control the world and everyone in it. Never forget.
We have nothing in common with that, of course.
There it is. Antiquity. The chasseur should be there. And with any luck, he will know where to find that manuscript.
Brief it all, tops!
Okay, let's see if we can pull it. Yeah, honestly, like, Assassin's Creed 4 was an absolutely stellar game. And I gotta wonder how they managed to actually make things worse, just in general in this game, because, you know, they had a basically perfect game, in my opinion, as far as Assassin's Creed goes. And then now the naval combat doesn't feel quite as good. The general pop-ins and bugs and all that are even worse.
That's not rum. It's eau de vie. What the devil is that? Whiskey. Well, the whiskey here is terrible.
Oh cool, I can set myself on fire. That's good to know. I've always wanted to set myself on fire. And just because this is a public place, I want to make sure everyone's aware that I am joking. Have not and do not ever want to set myself on fire.
Now that's booty.
North Atlantic, 724 to 176, negative 176. I have no idea where that is in relation to the map. But I suppose we will find out. It wants me to go there, but there is something over here, and I wonder.
So, Louis Joseph, how goes the fur trade?
Not well enough to put beef on my family's plates.
If you want beef, raid more British brigs. They're loaded down with barrels.
Oh, yes. Their Irish farms yield much meat, don't they? But that is smart management. Far better than the locals could do.
I collected a piece of a Viking sword that somehow, when put together with other pieces of Viking swords, will lead me to a treasure? Hey buddy, turn around please. Thank you. That was almost bad, but I saved myself.
Oh, by Beelzebub's balls! What happened to that wall? It looks like someone took a cannon to it. I hate digging stone out of the frozen ground. Fixing it'll take ages.
There we go.
I cannot thank you enough. You
More
are
crew
a
for
hero.
me. if it's anything like 4, which I assume it will be, in a little bit into the story, we'll be able to start recruiting, like getting more ships into our fleet, and all these crew will go towards manning those ships as well as our own. I'm meant to be talking to someone and continuing the story, but again, it's an Assassin's Creed game. I am not doing that. I am exploring around. Honestly, I do recommend it. It's actually a really fun game. Yeah, they did a really good job with the naval stuff. Like, it was their second attempt after Assassin's Creed 3 did a small amount of it, and it showed that they really learned from Assassin's Creed 3 and did a lot better. There we go. Sea shanty. Okay, come on. I know how to do this. There we go. Hey man, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, I have a Oculus Quest 2 over there. I have a PSVR over there. I have this really powerful gaming hardware. I have a PS5, a Switch. I have 2 bloody arcade game consoles, multiple retro consoles, and a CRT, and still I tend to go back to the same old. We all have our things we go back to, and that's fine. As long as, you know, spending the money makes us happy somehow, then why not? Hey, no, that's not dumb at all, man. Like, that's entirely the thing. Like, so, what? Less than a month ago, I was, and I still am. Like, I'm not going to get big in the head here or anything, but this is day 22 of me streaming 5 days a week, which is insane. Like, most people wouldn't stream more than 1 or 2 days a week max when they're first starting, right? But I wanted to see how I did, and it worked out, so I kept it up. You just gotta start small, see where you get to, and eventually things will either fall out or they won't work out, and you can try something else. As long as you don't let it get you down, right? This has been Rurik on your Be Kind to Yourself podcast today. If you liked what you heard, well, too bad. It's probably not going to happen again anytime soon. Like, I also sorry, let me read that first. Why do it? Because you might have fun doing it, and that's all the reason you need, right? As long as you're having fun, as long as you're enjoying it, then it's worth it in the end. Oh, that was dangerous and almost cost me my life. Okay, so what's left here is a collectible. There is a treasure chest all the way over there. And there is a cave painting just here. Honestly, there is actually, from what I've heard, a big community for CRT gaming. Like, huge. So if you've got something that you can set up to do that, and you have a way to make it still look good, despite the fact that you'd probably need to put it into a like HDMI converter to get it into a capture card, go for it. Because you will get a lot of viewers pretty much immediately, as long as you can talk about the games and all that while you're doing it. Like when I told one of my mates who was the one that made me think about getting into streaming myself, that I have a CRT now and everything's set up, they basically said, "Awesome! Are you going to stream it? Because that's there's big numbers in retro gaming streams." Okay, so yep. Ah, okay, there it is. Those aren't weird, creepy patterns at all. I mean, I haven't tried it myself because with the retro gaming, one, because, you know, I've been focusing on getting my first series to completion, and two, I didn't really want to deal with playing it over a HDMI converter. But yeah, apparently there's lots of numbers there for it. Also, I am probably gonna die right here. Fast travel. Oh crap. Fast travel is unavailable. So I am probably gonna have my first death already. Yeah, so, you know, something I probably shouldn't be saying as a fresh to streaming, new to Twitch, all that. But I have actually seen some of the bigger names trying out YouTube streaming recently as well. So if you wanted to, you could ignore Twitch entirely and just stream on YouTube, and it would immediately go to a VOD for you that way. Me, I like the Twitch interface, so I'm enjoying myself doing this, but hey, if you can make it work, why not? Okay, there we go. Now, the question is, should I kill all these people before seeing the spy? I have no need to do so, it does not get me anything.
I miss my Marie. Such a true and fine heart is hard to find. Where did you meet her? At her third wedding. I slipped into the feast. I would say you slipped into more than that. Stop you! Get to the side when we're done.
Well, I guess I don't have a choice now.
I hate it when I find a turd in the oven. Come out, dipshit. We will find. Fuck it. Whatever I may have done. We've not to do with any dark dealings. Spare me. I have to search it for clues, of course. Bloody fuck! Ah! Can't find anything. Cut out for snooping around.
Ready to fight.
Come on. Bring it on. There we go. They are now dead. This will probably be a running theme for me. I am a bit of a murder hobo in Assassin's Creed games. For no other reason than they make it fun. You know, seeing as everyone else is dead, these two can be as well.
I suppose because there are more French ships to challenge them. Who has more ships, do you reckon? The English, by far. They're spread thin.
Okay, let's continue with the story.
Take a look at this. I borrowed these plans from a Royal Navy ship of the line. They are like nothing I have ever seen.
Good. We could use some more powerful weapons. Le Chasseur, allow me to present our associate, Shay Cormack.
Gentlemen, I have news. On this same ship, I spied the manuscript you seek.
Technically,
It was written in an
I do
exotic
have
language I did
a
not recognize and was full of drawings.
I do have a
plants, and
16:9
animals out of
over
an
here,
opium drain.
which, you know, because of my camera, you can't see it.
No maps?
No.
Currently in vertical
There may
form
have
with
been
Discord
some
on it.
kind of code, but neither
I
nor
could
roast beef could ken
Where's the
it.
manuscript now?
I could switch that around and to horizontal again and use it,
I know that name.
but
He's an important Templar, isn't he?
I like having it
Lawrence
the
Washington
ultra
has
wide,
great ambitions that Templars have helped fulfill.
as long as it
Shay,
doesn't look too terrible on
let's
my
return and find
stream.
him. You, sir, have our thanks.
And when I'm streaming console games, it doesn't really matter because I use the Elgato to stream directly. Please give us feedback, even though we don't actually care about any feedback anymore. Because we give up a game once the next one, give up on a game once the next one is out. We do have a cabin. What is in our cabin in this game? So that'll be where you manage your ship. I would like to upgrade those, but it's very expensive to do so. Let's get the heavy shot, because that will help. Looks like we have already unlocked the rowboat, which is nice. Right, okay, that's right. Good to remember. Yeah, so I haven't unlocked it yet, but there will be a point where we send ships off onto naval adventures here. It's where we can change up our own gear. And we can buy better gear if we want to. But I just spent my money, so that won't be happening anytime soon. Like, that's probably one of the best ones out there, but costs a lot.
Captain has the wheel.
So what's our next headed?
Wherever this Lawrence Washington docks is ours.
Liam, you're finally getting into the spirit of things.
Oh,
He's
okay,
a
that's
temper and a
cool.
politician.
Borealis.
What's that you like?
Good. Hoist anchor. Why does Chevalier get off ordering us around like that? We're assassins, same as him.
He's more experienced and he knows these waters better, Shay. That makes him in charge in these parts.
Well, he commands me around back at the homestead too. Is he a truffle pig to know land better than me?
Show some respect, Shay.
He ought to respect me, Liam. I stick my neck out as much as any of us.
Yeah, twice as often it seems. That's just the thing. Chevalier hangs back and thinks before making a decision. His experience has earned him that right.
So yeah, heavy shot
I
actually has
wonder how much
ammo,
more
so I
experience
don't
I'll
use it
need
too often.
before I can decide when to
Whereas
wake up
round
and take
shot
action.
doesn't.
I swear, Liam, sometimes I feel I was more grown up when we were children. We slept rough and scrounged for meat, but at least we decided where and when.
So yeah, if you do have any thoughts on the camera situation and all that, feel free to send them through, because I would like to have that be a bit better and work with the green screen. Just need to work out how I can actually do that.
That's quite a rough squall, Captain. Behind the captain, move! Fire! We need a mark! Ready here!
Brace for impact! Fire!
Keep off the damn points! Break up! Fire's coming against us!
Bring them in!
Eh, that's nothing unusual, right? Gotta do what you gotta do. Hey, good, there are the lines. This one's working properly. So they will slowly pull us in. Oh, come on, you couldn't have jumped that distance, Shay? There we go. Ship is ours. So yeah, because you haven't played 4, I'll explain how this works. The bigger the ship, the higher the level it is, you get more rewards, but you also will get more notoriety. You also have to kill more enemies, do more things. Like on the bigger ships, you'll have to blow up 2 powder barrels, as well as kill a leader and then kill 5 other members, that kind of thing. So far we're only seeing the small ships, but that will change. Oh cool, do you notice I'm just standing in the floor there?
Loose and catch the wind! Trim us off the wind!
What is that over there? That is an abandoned ship. I gotta say though, I love this emerald green waters. It's a really nice image.
Let's catch this squall! An abandoned vessel, Shay.
Okay, was that just about looting?
Unfurled mates! Let's move!
Hmm. Not sure what the point of that abandoned ship would be. I thought maybe I'd have to board it and loot it or something, but...
Fire!
We've troubled!
Fire!
Gunboat! Royal Navy!
Fire! Careful, Captain. They can fire many volleys.
Still reloading!
Bloody cowards!
Fire!
Use explosive shot to slow it!
Glues up! Freezer sticks!
Douse their topsails!
Fire!
No!
Oh, come on, I can aim better than that. There we go.
She's breaking up!
And now, because it would take a while to actually board all these ships and take them out, I can just sink them and then loot their cargo. I get less cargo as a result, but it's quicker.
Ready to fire, sir!
Fire!
Taking some damage here!
Fire!
You heard the captain, move!
That's a big one that is going to be a bit harder to deal with.
Brace for impact!
Captain Cormack.
It's going to ram me, isn't it? Yep.
Fire!
Use explosive shot to slow her down.
Ready here!
On your
Fire!
Taking a blow, Captain!
Brace for impact! Fire!
That wind's trouble, Captain Cormack.
Fire!
Loaded, Captain!
I want to remind you, I didn't have to do any of this. I could have just sailed right past these ships. They weren't going to attack. But where's the fun in that? Yep, we are definitely going to board this one. So you can see here, instead of killing 5, I need to kill 10. Also, when you get a kill from a counter, you can chain that into further instant kills. So that skull icon there means that he killed one of my men, and so I want to avenge him. Just like that. The big guys you need to break the defense of before you can actually attack them. If you don't, they just keep rebuffing you and will eventually attack you back and really hurt. And we are repairing the Morrigan because we got a bit injured there.
Brace! Brace!
So yeah, that's a taste of how the bigger naval combat goes, and the ship that is still only like a medium ship. There are many, many bigger ships still that are even harder to take care of. It is really fun. It's just it's not the fastest way of fighting things. Like that right there is a level 17. I don't think we're ready to take that on just yet. Okay, let's continue on with the story. I'll probably be staying on for another half hour or so. You do not have to stay the entire time. I'm amazed and happy that you've stayed this entire time so far. Thank you. But yeah, we'll do another half hour or so, then wrap up for the night. Because I need to prep the video, put it up on YouTube, blah blah blah. As well as do some other stuff after I'm done. This is looking a lot more tropical than the open seas were. I don't know what these mean. Homesteads versus islands or something?
For sail! All sail! Loose sail!
You can see on the mini-map there, the actor's probably a bit small in this scene, you're right. Nice and big for me. There's a treasure chest over here on this little island, which is not part of the mainland there.
Trim the yards off the wind!
Douse the mizzen-top!
Reef! Shorten all sail!
Hope the cat's alright and isn't breaking anything. Did not mean to go up there, but oh well. But yeah, back to camera talk. You were saying about how you were using the AI green screen, all that stuff. As you can see, when you start to zoom in too much, you can see just this shoulder here how it's blurring, even though the colors are nowhere near similar. It has trouble once you zoom in a little bit too much. Not really noticeable unless you're looking for it generally, but considering I am focused a little bit on making sure this is a good quality stream, I notice it. One nice thing about being a tech guy and all that, with good internet and all the other fun stuff, I don't know that I've had more than like a handful of dropped frames over the course of almost 60 hours of streaming. It's just not a thing that I've had to worry about because powerful computer, good internet. I was a little concerned that it might dropped some now that I'm actually playing a full screen PC game while streaming as well. But it has been completely smooth still, which is just really nice. 3 collectibles, 2 chests.
Captain's gone to the deep!
I've not gone to the deep, I've jumped over to the dock, you dingbat. That looks suspicious. Yep. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, so we've got some things around there. All that over there. Really? There's no Vista sync point. What activity do I need to progress further in the story for? Hey, there we go. Got what I wanted. Unlike in Pokemon and using the Switch Pro Controller, my hands are starting to get
desire to
sore
understand
from
the
these
nature of these artifacts.
buttons.
Their spies have called upon many doctors and other learned people in New York.
They have also approached many tribes with questions.
Yeah, they've been showing that manuscript far and wide. No one can read the strange writing or understand the images. We do have a name, though.
We learned that Lawrence Washington sent out the manuscript.
Lawrence Washington. Businessman, Virginian politician, and high-ranking Templar.
Ah, yes. I recently heard he was back from the West Indies. One of my men saw his major domo pick up a strange package.
Then that package will be delivered to him promptly. Shay, figure out what it is and find Washington. And when you do, learn all you can.
I'll prepare the Morrigan.
Keep in mind that Washington is not General Washington, one of the presidents of the United States. No. It is just another Washington.
You are not allowed.
Hey, the prompt came up. I know that, I mean, I probably don't need to do the whole spiel because I know it's just you here at the moment. Because I do something I'm apparently not supposed to do and I have viewer count on. But I know everyone probably has way too many Discord servers already and all that. And it's a very small community at the moment, but you are welcome to join it. It will notify you when my VODs go up in case you miss a stream and want to catch it. And I was just hoping that one day it will become a much bigger community. You can suggest games to play, though I've got a big backlog to get through already. Make other suggestions about the channel, all that kind of stuff. But it's all 100% optional. And it's just another option of a way to, I don't want to say necessarily communicate or work with me, but another way to stay in touch. and keep abreast of the situation. I said the funny word. Get back here, Shanty. There we go. The one thing that they did massively improve in the Ancient History trilogy is that you can basically climb any surface. Like, oh, there's a cliff face there, you just climb it. Doesn't matter if it looks like it's been made to be climbable. You can probably climb it. Sure. Yeah, it's only 180 meters away. Like, while I'm not a huge fan of the way they turned it into more of an RPG, like more of a classic RPG, the improvements they made to the movement system is actually really cool. Ooh, these quick time events are gonna be the death of me. I'm sure of it, considering different controller. If you guys just didn't attack me, you wouldn't die. Looter, please. Thank you. One thing I will say, while most of the human deaths are cool looking rather than gruesome, skinning the animals is really gruesome in 3, 4, and this game. I missed.
What service can I provide? Later then. What do you be needing today then?
Why is it press B to talk when B will then back out? It just feels backwards. Yeah, let's fill up on that. The mortar is a really cool weapon for naval combat. Basically, you paint a target area out in the ocean, and then a couple of seconds later, it rains down fire on the location. Massive damage, but you need to really lead the shot. You may be wondering why I'm just upgrading the ship. It's because if this is anything like the previous game, while my own gear will help, it doesn't mean nearly as much as just being able to survive better on the open water. Health upgrade 3, Grey Wolf Pelt and Killer Whale Skin. Rope Dart, I already have what I need for that, but I can't make it yet. Berserk Dart, also can't make it yet. Shrapnel Grenade? I get grenades later on? I want those grenades. I'll probably kill myself with them at least once, but...
Well, if we've any luck, that ship will lead us right to him.
I make my own luck, Liam. And Washington is running out of his.
Who's Thompson? That weather looks monstrous.
Loading cargo!
Should be nearby, Captain.
There. Aye. There she is! All right, man. Time to be quiet.
Oh boy,
Lawrence
it's
Washington was
a
powerful businessman, slave owner, and a leading Templar.
it's a
He lost
stealth
track
mission on
about
the
a year
ocean.
ago. I recently
This is
learned
gonna
he was
go
in
well.
Barbados, but I haven't been able to confirm that. Now,
Now you think he had something to do with the theft of the artifacts, don't you?
I wouldn't put it past him. Haiti's a short voyage from Barbados, and his return to the colonies certainly coincides with the arrival of the artifacts. We cannot let the Templars get control of these colonies. Whatever happens, Lawrence Washington must not survive.
I'll make sure he doesn't. Loose all and trim sharp to the wind.
Well up, lads.
Some
Who's
sort
the
of
Royal?
cargo there, sir.
Briefing all tops. Crowd on every inch of sail.
Sorry, a little bit quiet here while I try and navigate these narrow corridors.
Blockade, Captain! This won't do. Shay, you must follow that ship on land.
I'll do that. Bring the Morrigan around another way.
Aye, Captain. Track that package and find Washington.
Clue up! Clue up! Sub-blockade.
I will, honestly, I will probably spend some time on the weekend
Washington.
seeing if I can't use the Switch Pro controller with this without too much trouble. I know I can fairly easily with Steam games, but I'm playing this through Ubisoft Connect, which makes me think it will probably be a lot harder. the triggers and everything on Switch Pro Controller are just so much easier on my hands. And because you basically have to hold the controller, the trigger in for pretty much the entire game here, because that's how you go into active mode. Hey! I did see the dog. Where'd the doggy go? So, what kind of PC stand are you looking for? Or looking at? Like just something to put your PC up on top of? Like a desk?
Oi! Stand still. Someone call for help. This is unacceptable.
Well, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I really need to figure out how to crouch. I'm gonna keep doing that. So, I'm sure you know because you've used the Pro Controller before. On the Pro Controller, confirm is right, cancel is bottom, and the other two actions are dependent. Usually, top button is menu. But on the Xbox and PC controllers, confirm is bottom and cancel is right. And it throws me off every single time. They really just removed the ability to crouch. Why would you remove that ability? Thank you for the ammo. I mean, you could always go the Apple route, get an Apple PC and need to buy another stand for $1,200 to put on. What was it, like $200 for a set of caster wheels? Oh look, they found the body. Too bad they don't know where I am. I mean, you remember that it was quite a while back now, probably a few months back, in the Discord, there was someone linked the heavy metal extendable desk that was like $800 or $900, and it was still nowhere near as deep as my current desk. There we go. Okay, let's check the map. I suppose we can explore next time and we will just take care of the actual objective for now. Like, my desk takes up a lot of space, but I also don't know how I could manage with anything smaller at this point. Because, like, with a ultra wide setup taking up half of it, my tower taking up another quarter, and my third vertical screen taking up the other quarter, I've probably got some decent space, like depth-wise, but width-wise, there's no way I could manage without what I've got now.
What's this? A rifle.
You there! Stay! Where you are?
How can that be? It makes no sound.
Oh hey, it's got a silencer on it.
Thanks for the present, Master Washington.
It's an air rifle. You might know a bit more about this gun stuff than me, and Nuzo would definitely know a lot more. I feel like a air rifle should not be able to use grenades and firecrackers.
This is a strange surprise. Not quite what I was expecting. Now I must find Washington and interrogate him.
So the fireworks over there are pretty.
Splendid party, wouldn't you say? Indeed. Master Washington has outdone himself. He has been looking rather pale, though, and his cough is worse than ever. Invitation.
Oh, that was good timing.
How goes your sugar plantation?
Terrible. Measles broke out last month. 20 laborers dead so far. I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you.
Half the charm of more modern Assassin's Creed games is just hearing the idle conversations from people around the area. Like how their slaves are not productive anymore. It is a pretty skybox though. Oh look, here comes a guard. Here comes some women sliding around because the camera angle just isn't quite right.
I don't know. Security is awfully tight. The captain told me who knows? All I've been told is that this is Lawrence Washington.
I need to get to Washington first. Then I'll worry about the artifacts.
Man, this is... I'm sure I'm going to enjoy this game, but there's so much jank in this game already in the opening couple of hours. Okay, so I missed a shanty over there, which I'll have to get next time. Also an animus fragment. A couple of things up here. But for now, let's continue. Because these guys are very blind.
Brother, are you sure you shouldn't be in bed?
I am fine, George.
Oh, never mind.
Be a good
It
host
may
for
not
my
be
sake.
George Washington,
Go
but
to
it's
the
George
wine
Washington's
cellar and
brother.
Get something special for our guests.
I will. Gentlemen?
And we are pretty sure, because of DLC previously, that George Washington is not a Templar.
My brother is a bright spot in a troubled land. If I may make one request before I depart this life, please leave him in peace. He should have nothing to do with the troubles of the Templar cause.
We all respect that sentiment, sir.
You have my thanks, gentlemen. Master Smith, are you ready to leave on your voyage?
Aye, sir. I shall return with answers.
Master Wardrop, are you likewise engaged with the manuscript?
Yes, sir. We will soon know its meaning.
Then I bid you take your leave.
Well, Master Washington is probably not going to be long for the world.
Washington can barely stand on his own 2 feet. Better be right about him, Liam. Because I'm about to murder a dying man.
Actually. That is some limited range because of it being an air rifle.
I can hardly hear myself think with all this racket.
There we go.
You are too late.
Who needs to kill the guy and myself when I can just berserk someone else into it?
Master Washington.
But my plans are already in motion. Even leading you here has given my allies time to escape. Thank you for making my end a quick one.
And thank you for revealing your master plan, you scheming snake.
God damn it. I'd better hurry. I have to get to the Morgan. Liam, I hope you brought the ship around. Is that a shit mortar? That's not sporting!
Captain's down. Let out.
We're making
Whoops.
Short and safe. Get off the squall.
Something tells me this is not going to go very well.
Let's get moving.
Even Coup Cullen knew enter retreat, Captain. Keep out of cannon range.
They're firing, sir!
Brace!
Taking a hit, Captain!
Brace for impact!
Damage report.
They're firing, sir! They've hit us, sir!
Almost out. Oh. This is very close.
Taking some damage here!
Oh. Oh boy. Where's it going to put me back to? I had just successfully escaped, and then I ran into a mine. Okay. we'll be finishing up once we get out of here. But, oh boy. Let's see if I can't outrace them again.
Lawrence Washington is dead.
You look disappointed.
Sickly way that man looked. He would have been dead in a month anyway. The 2 other Templars got away. They're looking into the manuscript and box.
Did they have the artifacts?
I don't know. Perhaps. I can't be sure.
Then you did what was right by the Brotherhood. We'll find the object. Cheer up, Shay. It's a rare day we can sow such chaos among the Templars.
Perhaps. But to hear Washington speak, it didn't sound like they'd be too put out by the loss.
Well, that's what he'd want you to think.
Ooh. 100% memory sync. Good way to end it. Oh, I'm getting pulled out. Okay. I was gonna repair the ship, but we're getting pulled back into the current timeline.
The memory
Or
appears to
not.
be fragmented. How much time has passed?
A few months, I think. That virus is cutting off our access to complete memories. They're readable, but messy.
The 7 Years' War will soon break out in the colonies. Focus on assassin interference.
We'll do our best. Won't we, numbskull?
So grim about the homestead now that Miss Abigail and little Connor have passed.
Oh no, Connor's son died? Okay, I can't repair the ship here. Can I give myself some better gear then? Not worthwhile ones. Yeah, no. Okay. So then, I'm guessing I can't do any crafting or anything. I can actually. Nice. Okay then. Well. Ah, guess who forgot to add in his headset to the ending screen. Give me one moment, I'll fix that. I was setting these up at like 11 p.m. Sunday night. There we go. That's better, right? Thank you for coming in. Thank you for standing around, Salty Admiral. I will call you whatever I feel like at the time. I do appreciate you hanging around. I appreciate having someone to chat with. I will be back with this game on Thursday night. Tomorrow night we'll be back to Pokemon, where I am catching the 23 remaining legendaries in Pokemon Shield. It will be another few streams before I finish that off, but you're welcome in anytime, mate. everyone is welcome in. Join the Discord if you want. I hope you all have a lovely night. And let's see, we are probably gonna, if you don't mind hanging around for the raid, just so I can, nah. I was gonna raid Cyb, but I don't think I'll worry about it tonight. Have a good night. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will catch you all later. Ta-ta.